Should TikTok be banned in the U.S.? President Biden may sign a new bill that could do just that. The House Energy and Commerce Committee has unanimously passed a bill forcing TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, to sell its ownership of the app or face a U.S. ban. The legislation aims to address concerns about TikTok potentially sharing user data with China. TikTok denies doing so. The U.S. government hasn't provided evidence of this happening. The bill still has a long way to go before it reaches President Biden's desk. It still has to make it through the House and Senate. By the way, the Biden campaign does now have a TikTok account, even though he bans federal employees from having it on their phones.
But if I didn't say I was for the Eagles, then I'd be sleeping alone. My wife's a Philly girl.
It's cringy to me, if I'm going to be honest.
I think memes are just not landing with the people who are unhappy with Biden.
Game or commercials?
Game.
Game or halftime show?
Game.
That's not authenticity. It's performative.
The Biden campaign is now on TikTok, and some critics and even some allies warn that there's a fine line between genuinely engaging with voters and being performative.
Our Roman Empire is the Roman Empire, because I was there.
I'm always happy to be made fun of by America's most watched late night host.
I think it's a cute joke. It shows a glimmer of like authenticity. But again, it's just not the kind of content that needs to be going out there. And it's not, you know, calming anyone's concerns about his age. These are actual concerns people had.
Jason Kelsey or Travis Kelsey?
Mama Kelsey. I understand she makes great chocolate chip cookies.
When you have such a large group of people that are really just consuming what's on the app, you need to be there, right? And I think it is so important for the campaign to be there.
Working with social media influencers was a key part of Biden's 2020 campaign strategy. But this year, despite national security concerns about the Chinese-owned app, his campaign is trying to reach voters directly.
He knows that the young vote is not there the way that it was when he first ran. The young vote was actually what really carried him.
Many young voters are frustrated over Biden's handling of the Israel-Hamas conflict and flooded his posts with calls for a ceasefire.
On the Super Bowl, he was posting dark Brandon memes, which, in my opinion, like as a Middle Eastern and Muslim voter, I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is a little evil. It almost feels like an episode of Black Mirror, if I'm going to be honest with you. It feels very dystopian.
I think that Dark Brandon was a lot more appealing to people and a lot funnier to people.
Giving up for Lent. President Biden, do you have any comments?
When Biden was advocating for more progressive policies, there's a way it can be used in a funny way, but I think that like it can also be really tone deaf. This clip that's circulating around Biden having dinner or lunch with this family.
I had over $90,000 of loans erased, and this has been a game changer for me.
I've been very critical of Joe Biden. I think that's a great video. I think that gets natural engagement. I don't think you have the capability to change minds if you're just saying, no, I'm not going to change my policy, but I'm going to make a little joke about Trump.
The bonus to the apostles of Great Millstone, peace, citation to the hopeful elect, Shalom. And I made title of this lesson, Biden wants to ban TikTok. So pretty much he's gonna go as far as like signing a legislation, you know, to really go as far as banning the app TikTok, because as you can see from the videos that I brought out before I started speaking, pretty much TikTok is an app that was made in China. I believe it's around 2016, if I'm not mistaken. But think about around September, the month, if I'm a little off in the month, you know. But I could be right pretty much when it's coming to the particular year. So other than that, TikTok was an app that was originally made in China, and then eventually, you know, it found its you know, way in basically being you know, made in America as well, like have like a, you know, American version of it, and eventually grew in popularity over time, you know, because aside from Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram, you know, TikTok seems like it's one of those apps as well that's really starting to gain, you know, a lot of popularity, and it's still pretty much increasing in popularity over time. It's to the point where it's like you got a lot of kids that are so distracted with social media They don't want to even pretty much interact with people socially. And the attention span of the average person, they say it's like a goldfish, and pretty much you see that, because of the fact that how social media is advancing, and there's always some new, interesting content on there. And the thing is that, like, when it's coming to TikTok, you got a lot of influencers on there, particularly you got a lot of women, and then you even have a lot of guys too that, they do business, they promote their businesses there. They pretty much have a following, a fan base. So pretty much people make money with these, famous social media platforms. And that's how they promote their businesses and things of that nature. So, a lot of these people will be upset if they see that TikTok is not available anymore. But, brothers, we expect these things to happen, and it's truth, because of the fact that how we already know through the spirit that social media mainly was made, just to push the word, this truth, that's the main purpose of it, but you see, the people in this world, they don't think like that, because of the fact that they're just distracted with the matters and affairs of this life. So yeah. Without further ado, get into the article. It says, Biden says he will sign TikTok crackdown, Trump raises concerns. This is by David Shepardson and Nandita Bose. It's on Reuters.com. It says March 8th, 2024, 7:18 p.m. U.S. flag and TikTok logo are seen in this illustration taken June 2nd, 2023. Washington, March 8th, President Joe Biden said on Friday he would sign legislation that gives China ByteDance about 6 months to divest the popular TikTok short video app as its rival. Donald Trump raised concerns about a ban of the service used by 170 million Americans. The U.S. House of Representatives plans to vote on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week on the TikTok crackdown bill, after a committee on Thursday unanimously approved the measure. The House will vote on the proposal under rules requiring 2/3 of members to vote yes to win approval. If they pass it, I'll sign it, Biden and Democrats told reporters. The bill faces an uncertain outcome in the Senate, where some lawmakers say they want changes to the legislation. Republicans Donald Trump, who is seeking a return to the White House in the November election, expressed objections to banning TikTok, saying on social media, if you get rid of TikTok, Facebook will double their business, and added he does not want Facebook doing better. Trump previously criticized Facebook parent Meta Platforms for revoking his access to Facebook and Instagram after removing 2 of his posts during January 6, 2021 U.S. Capitol riot. His accounts were reinstated in February 2023. The Trump campaign did not immediately comment on whether he has a position on legislation. Meta Platforms declined to comment. The Justice Department told the House Committee on Energy and Commerce that a divestiture bill rather than a bill banning TikTok would put the government in a stronger legal position, according to a document seen by Reuters. Mike Pence, who served as a president under Trump, endorsed the proposed House legislation on TikTok. China is poisoning the minds of American children. Enough is enough, he wrote on social media site X, formerly known as Twitter. The bill would give ByteDance 165 days to divest TikTok. If failed to do so, app stores operated by Apple, Alphabet, Google, and others could not legally offer TikTok or provide web hosting services to ByteDance controlled applications. In 2020, Trump sought to ban TikTok and Chinese-owned WeChat, but was blocked by the courts. So let me just get to the point. It says the legislation has a predetermined outcome, a total ban of TikTok in the United States. After the House Energy and Commerce Committee vote, the government has attempted to strip 170 million Americans of their constitutional right to free expression. The app is popular in getting legislation approved by both the House and the Senate in an election year. May be difficult. Last month, Biden's re-election campaign gained TikTok. So I could join TikTok. that Trump's campaign has not joined TikTok. So, without further ado, now I'll bring out some scriptures. The Lord will let make this lesson edifying. Yeah, this is Amos 8, and start at verse 11, because this is definitely leading to the famine of the word eventually, because you got it to where there's just going to be a time where social media is not going to be, available at all. And you're going to have it to where the internet is going to be completely down. That's another thing that we look forward to happening. Because you see, one thing is like, you GMO people, like, y'all gotta be fucking judged, And one great way to judge you fucking fake ass GMO people is the way to judge y'all is to pretty much have it to where you can't look up to the internet anymore, because the internet is just basically like, it was just a way to go as far as helping people communicate better, making certain things easier in people's life. But now we're coming to that time where these elites, they're really trying to go as far as getting rid of the internet as a whole, because they know there's a lot of truth being pushed out on the internet, via this truth. And then you got people out there that don't know this truth, that can't teach this truth, that weren't set up by the Lord to teach this truth. They expose, like, let's say, certain information about the government and secret of these elites, so you got people, that's set up in the world, they expose some form of the truth in terms of, like, basically exposing the secrets of those elites, and their New World Order plans. And the funny thing is, you got Edomites, amongst them that expose, the Edomite banking families, you know what I mean? So that's the thing about the internet. And there's a lot of truth being, exposed, you know what I'm saying? Like, and because of the internet, a lot of people are starting to see that elephant that's hidden in the room. And they're starting to see things at a larger scale, even though there is still a lot of things that's still hidden, because compared to what the elites are doing, and the stuff that they're only allowing to be revealed on the internet is just, the stuff that they're hiding. You best believe that there's still a lot to learn about what they're hiding and their full agenda and how they're gonna plan things out. We don't know that for sure, but what we know is just, only a certain amount of things. But other than that, we bring out Amos 8 and 11. It says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint with thirst." Yeah, because eventually this is just, one app that they focusing on banning, and I bet you people gonna just bug out over this little thing, especially the newer generation. Because see, one thing about a lot of these kids that grow up in Gen Z, and even this newer generations after Gen Z, is like they pretty much grow up on the advancement of social media, so they're not taught to think without using a phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are taught that a way to escape their problems is by going on the internet. It comes to the point where it's like some kids will even go as far as probably even killing their parents because they get their phone taken away from them. That's how fucked up this whole world is on technology. That's how fucked up people are by the use of social media. So yeah, that's what we're looking forward to, honestly speaking, because it's time that you people really start waking up to reality in this world, and especially like you niggas that we have to deal with in our day-to-day life, because it's like, a lot of these people in this world, they just don't understand what's coming down to the pipeline. And you see, these elites, they don't give a fuck about the average people. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck about social media because they don't necessarily be on social media. They don't really use social media. You know, these elites, these banking family members, you know, they have no need for those things. And honestly, in my opinion, I feel like it serves Biden right to go as far as banning, you know, social, what you call TikTok. And honestly speaking, you know, that's going to humble a lot of people to some extent because, you know, like I said, people make money using social media, you know. And the thing is, with social media, it has pretty much effed up the mind state of a lot of the people in a way, because some people don't use it the right way, you know. Yeah, it's good to use social media to build, let's say, like a certain fan base or so to promote your products and to go as far as doing business. But some people, they have gained a level of narcissism, and especially when it's coming to women, you know, it's pretty much has heightened the sense of narcissism for them as well, and they're becoming prideful as all hell. And then they also have like a, you know, a whole bunch of options, you know, because you got a lot of these thirsty ass simps that's, you know, pretty much trying to chase after these filthy ass women. So it's like, you know, they got all those type of options coming their way because of the social media. So let me bring out this last scripture. It goes Isaiah chapter 24, verse, I'll start at verse 8, because eventually this is what's coming down to the pipeline. Everything just happens gradually, and that's what people don't really understand. And we're at the point at this year, like they mentioned that this year is a year for potential black swan events, so anything could happen at this point, you know, because they mentioned about cybersecurity attacks, and then you got the whole influx of migrants, and there's even migrants from China coming over here, so they could also, you know, be very well as justified as, you know, sparking some shit off, you know. So there's just a whole bunch of shit that Esau could throw into why he needs to enforce martial law and why he needs to ban the internet and all this other bullshit that comes down the pipeline, which is already prophesied anyway. So we already look forward to these things, which people in the world, they don't. And the sooner that it happens, it may hurt your flesh, you know, that you can't do certain things as you once did in the world, but to the certain extent, it's going to boost your spirit even more. And that's how the Most High is going to move, mostly through the spirit anyway. And he's going to basically level you up through the spirit. And eventually, before you know it, spiritual power is coming and divine protection as well. And then eventually, what's going to come after that will be, you know, once the women see that you have that type of power, they're going to come in their right state of mind, eventually try to get right. You know, the fact that they don't got social media anymore, and the fact that there's a whole bunch of chaos happening because people don't have answers to, you know, why these things are happening, and they're going to be desperately seeking for answers. So once you got the truth, you're like, you know, you ain't got really much to worry about, you know, as long as we're doing the work sincerely. So it says Isaiah chapter 24 verse 8, the mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoiceth endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song, strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. Right. And then when he's coming to these people and they realize, oh, social media is down, you know, the internet is completely off, these people ain't gonna have nothing to look forward to, you know, at that time. They're gonna be stressed out as all hell. They're gonna be, you know, worried, bugged out their mind. They're gonna be running to and fro, trying to seek answers, trying to go to Christian churches. And, you know, the funny thing is, these people are gonna try to also particularly run to the main camp that teaches the, you know, the true doctrine. They're gonna be trying to run to GMS members, and eventually, if the internet is somewhat even up there, there's gonna be that monkey wrench, you know, where it shows like brothers that, you know, teach the truth that GMS teaches, you know, the 100% doctrine. You know, they're gonna show that monkey wrench with the they're gonna show the purple monkey with the wrench, showing you that all the videos are not available, you know. And then eventually, you know, you might even have, let's say, if IOIC, ICBK, they post their bullshit videos, or Fopi, whatever, you know, Sakari, whatever, them niggas, you know, that not teaching the full doctrine, that's not teaching the, you know, truth sincerely, you know, they're gonna have their videos up there, but they mainly gonna crack down on brothers that teach the actual true sound doctrine. And if the internet is somewhat up there, because everything happens gradually, we all know, through the spirit. And they've been shadow banning brothers that be teaching the sound doctrine, you know, particularly GMS and other affiliates that follow after the GMS teachings. They gonna pretty much go as far as eventually removing the videos, you know. So it says in verse 10, the city confusion is broken down, every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets, all joy is darkened, the mirth of the land is gone. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. You see, that's what people don't really understand, that this has already been prophesied. So you people are gonna lose what you value the most, you know, which is that social media, and eventually it's gonna come to the point where you people are gonna really see, you know, the judgment of the Lord manifesting before you. But when that judgment takes place, it's like Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, like what it says, they're gonna be saying, what had pride profited us? Exactly. Especially when they realize that they ain't able to work no more, you know, they ain't able to go on social media no more, or use the internet at all. You know, when they see that the money collapse, when they see eventually there's a famine, you know, all this shit people gonna really be seeing, and then they're gonna realize, like, you know, the cares and the matters of the world that they pretty much only cared about, having their head up a woman's ass, and, you know, caring about the pleasures of this earth. And they see all that going down to shit, you know, and everything around them is just completely chaos and just all type of anarchy, you know, that's when people gonna humble down during bad times. And since they weren't humble in their liberty, they're gonna be forcefully humbled. And the crazy thing is, they're gonna have to resort to doing wickedness just to survive. They're gonna have to resort to doing what they did best. And that's when the Most High is going to judge them even more, like he said in 2 Ezra 16th chapter. So this is all the stuff that we look forward to happening. And we definitely look forward to these people getting judged. Because even when martial law hits and they start rounding up people in the concentration camps, we're still going to be feeling, let's say, even though we're going to be scared and shit like that, we still going to be comforted with the fact that these GMO people being judged. Because that's all I give a fuck about, is that fact that these people are going to be judged beyond, you know, recognition. But without further ado, let's say, call them Yahweh Shema Shai, Bashima Kakadash, the honest apostle of great millstone, peace, citation, hope, for let, shalom.